Hi. So it is Tuesday, and as ever, I pop on to answer a couple of questions on a Tuesday. So I'm going to hang on and see if anyone is around. I'm just going to share it to a couple of places if you just bear with me. But if you do have any questions, give me a shout. Say hi, let me see that you're there. Just trying to share it. So say hello. I can see you there. Hi, Monique. Hope you're well. I'm just sharing so I can try and get some more people up. Hi, Nora. Okay, so I should get some more people in a moment. So just hopping on to answer any questions that anyone's got, or not any, a couple of questions on a Tuesday. And see if there's anything anybody wants to ask. First of all, just say as well, thank you so much to people that have pre-ordered my book. Can't believe how many people have pre-ordered it already. It's just, I don't know what the word is really. I'm just quite overwhelmed by it, if I'm honest. That people would want to read about my story. I know people will want help, but I just really, really appreciate everybody that's pre-ordered it. So thank you so much. Pop the link in the comments if anybody wants to pre-order it. Anybody that pre-orders will get a free, hi Kasim, will get a free training to go with it, which I'm looking forward to. Okay, so I'm going to come to your question in a minute, Gabby. I thought I might just mention something as well. My mentor is somebody called Dr. Bill Pettit, and anybody that follows the three principles will know of him. He's fantastic. And so I have calls with him and we talk about all sorts of different things all around the three principles, but it might be things that I maybe want to talk about or things that I want to ask about for clients or just general exploring it with somebody who is really experienced in the area. And they're wonderful. I thoroughly enjoy my calls. And one of the things that crops up a lot, one of the things I get asked about a lot, or not get asked about, but the sense that I get is that people absolutely hate their anxiety. Now I get it. Anyone that has ordered the book and is going to read it is going to hear all about how much I hated it and how much I battled it and how much I tried to rid my body of it and how hard I tried to eradicate any anxiety, which actually just kept it there for longer. And so I get it, why people hate it. But one of the conversations I was having with Bill recently is how actually the very thing that we fear, that we hate, that we want rid of. So the fact that I used to produce adrenaline so quickly through my thinking to the point where I would be on alert and so sensitive. And he made me smile because the very thing that I hated and want rid of was actually a gift. Now, I'm not saying that when you feel that overwhelming anxiety that you should be seeing that as a gift. I get it. It's horrendous. It doesn't feel nice at all. But actually, what's happening when we are overthinking is that it's sending a warning to our body and we go into fight or flight. That bit is a gift because it's part of survival. And the way that Bill was talking to me, gave a lovely little metaphor, is that when you have a feeling and that warning, or your hands are shaking, or you've got sweaty palms and all of that, they are your body telling you something. They are your warning system to say you are off course, you are off balance. And it's a bit like he was saying to me, if you were a pilot and you were going to land a plane, okay, and you were just about to come down to the landing strip and you've gone slightly veered off course, which could be dangerous, it could be disastrous, you've gone slightly off balance, off course, and so an alarm goes off, beep, 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 warning you that you're off balance. So then right at the beginning, you can get back on balance and you can continue and safely land. When you're anxious or you've got physical sensations in your body and feelings, that's what they are. They're like your sensor going beep, 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 beep. You've got a whole lot of thinking going on. You're going off balance. You're getting carried away. And actually, when you go into fight or flight, or when you spend quite a lot of your time overthinking and be anxious, my sensor it felt like it was going off all the time. And actually, it's better that it goes off straight away and you're really aware of it than it doesn't go off or you don't hear it, and then basically you end up crash landing. And so the warning signs are important. We just need to listen to them. We need to see them for what they are, which is actually a gift. And often part of the reason it continues and goes to a point where people get really overwhelmed is because they're kind of ignoring those warning signs. And often then overthinking those warning signs. Why do I feel like this? Why is my alarm going off? Etc, etc. So let me go back to Gabby. How can you take your mind off being so down? Okay. Our mind, the way our mind works is that it naturally, the only thing to be true about thoughts, sorry, I'm a bit tired. To be true about thoughts is that they come and they go. They are transient in their very nature. They do not stay around for long. They pass. They come and they go. They come and they go. So if your mind is having lots of thought about the fact that you're saying that you feel down and you're fed up and you're having lots of negative thought, those thoughts will pass. Now, they'll pass naturally. There's nothing for us to do apart from accept that they're there at that time, be okay with it, and know that they will pass. The difficulty is what people do is because they really want to get away from that discomfort, they will interfere. And by interfering, what they're doing is they're adding a whole load more layers of thoughts on top. So, why am I feeling like this? How long is it going to last? Everybody else isn't like this. Why is it just me? Is it because of this in my past? Is it because of that? All those layers upon layers upon layers are just keeping them there for longer. You're just interfering with the natural way of thought, which is that it will pass. Because you're holding on to it, because you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to work it out. You want the answers. You want the answers to impossible questions. Why do I feel so shit today? Well, we could come up with a million reasons and maybe not one of them is right. Maybe they're all right. You know, it's all of the trying to figure it out that is keeping them there for longer. And whilst you're trying to figure out why it is that you feel shit, somebody else who might have had a thought that they feel a bit shit is no longer feeling shit, and they're now feeling happier because they haven't tried to figure it out. They've not interfered with the natural way of thought, which is that it's just going to pass. It's not going to stay forever. So it's almost like we get into the habit of trying to fix it and this is what I talk about in the book, is like trying to fix it. I did it for 10 years, like trying to fix it, trying to work it out, trying to figure out why, when it started, blah, 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 blah. And all it was doing really is keeping it as my story, as my label, as my, this is how I am now, and this is what I suffer with, and this is how I struggle, and this is what I've always got to deal with, rather than actually, in some moments, I might feel anxious because I've got anxious thinking. In the next moment, I might have thoughts about something completely different and feel completely different. And I now just go with whatever is. I don't try and work out why. I don't try and figure it out. Some days I can get up in the morning and feel rotten. I think I'm fed up. Today might be a shit day. And then within an hour, I'm, literally singing and thinking, oh, I feel good. Today's great. It can change constantly if we just leave it. Hang on. Okay, the nausea. Why does the nausea come afterwards and the next day my body has no energy after I've had a bad day? Eric, after eating 2 donuts, felt shit, gonna have another one. Hi, Francesca. Oh, well, Eric, surely that's the answer, isn't it? Have another one. You're bound to feel better or sick. Okay, So, Katerina, I'm going to answer your question before I go. Nausea is a symptom for people often if they're in fight or flight because of the amount of adrenaline and stress hormone in your body, and it can make you feel sick. I often talked about in the past that I would have what's called, I would call it my anxiety hangover. So if I had a day of lots of anxious thinking, lots of worry, lots of stress, and so then I was feeling really anxious, sometimes the next day I would wake up, and although my thought had passed about a lot of that stuff, I would feel tired, I would feel drained, and I would feel exhausted. And that to me was my anxiety hangover. My body was just not quite reset fully. I was still a little bit off balance. If you think about adrenaline used in the sense of exercise, if you're going to go in a gym and you're going to start working out, then your adrenaline is going to kick in to get you through the workout. Now, once you stop and you sit down, then you probably will then feel it. You'll feel tired and exhausted because of all the adrenaline that's gone through your body, and you're not feeling as tired when the adrenaline's there. But then we stop and we start to reset and rebalance, and then we feel it. Because the other thing is, when you're overthinking and then you're feeling anxious, your heart is beating faster. So you will be tired. It's like you're running a marathon in your mind. And so the key with that, again, is to just be okay with that. You know, one day you have a load of anxious thinking, so you feel anxious, and then the next day you might feel a bit tired from that. That's all right. Again, it won't be forever. And so sometimes I wouldn't be able to explain it or wouldn't know. And again, I wouldn't want to try and work it out because that would just create more anxious thinking. But I would often just go, oh, I've got my anxiety hangover day today. And I just do whatever I feel I need to do in any given moment. And if that's resting up or having a power nap or feeding myself with a load of sugar or caffeine, then I'll just do whatever feels right for me in that moment. But it's because of all the adrenaline that's been going around your body, you'd be tired. Yeah? So it's nothing to worry about. You know, again, people can be sick with exercise, can't they? Feel sick and be sick. It's pure adrenaline rush in your body, which is created through your thinking. Thank you, you talk so much sense. I've struggled for years with anxiety and obsessive thoughts. The only way I manage it is to just accept the thoughts and carry on knowing they will pass. Okay, so that's a really good start because yes, that's the only thing that's guaranteed is that they're going to pass. They will not stay forever. The only thing I would say if I was coaching you, so if you were one of my members in my group and I was coaching you, I would get you to change the wording and think it's not even for you to manage. Because managing it means we're somehow trying to control it. We're somehow trying to fix it or do something. And the thoughts will just pass by themselves without you having to do anything. So it's more about you just trusting in innately how you work, your gut instinct, that you'll know what to do in that moment. And as you say, that they will pass because they always will. So just scrap the manage bit. This isn't about you managing it. We can't control our thoughts. We just can't. It's the acceptance of them. And I'm only being picky because, in a way that I hope just to get you think, because obviously you're already part way there. So it's just to get you thinking that little bit further of, actually, it's not for you to manage. It's not for you to control because you can't. Yeah? But well done you. That's great. So, as I say, thank you to everybody that's pre-ordered the book. I have popped the link in and pinned it to the top if anybody hasn't and wants to. The structure of it is basically me telling my history, my background, all about my anxiety, being in hospital. But at the end of each chapter, so it's about relationships, about medication, all sorts of stuff, are learning points, exploration about what it is that got me to a place where I am now, which is happy and content and settled. So it's kind of a self-help book, but with my story attached. So it's more of a reading. It's not, I want it to be interesting, but I also want people to learn something from it so that they can get the help. What do we control? We don't control anything, Eric. We think we do, and we can try, but we don't. Because something can always crop up, can't it? We don't control anything. So thank you for watching. And as I say, I will be here every Tuesday. Can't guarantee what time, because it depends what else I've got going on. But yeah, I'll be back next week. Okay, take care. Bye for now.